Size of these cards before we finish up. Hey, welcome to Blackrock. I'm Hammy. In this quick Hearthstone news update, we're going to take a real quick look at two new Hearthstone cards announced from Blackrock Mountain, Hearthstone's newly announced Adventure Mode that's releasing in April 2015. The two new cards are Dragonkin Sorcerer and Dragon Egg. So dragons being a big theme of Blackrock Mountain. Of course, Blackrock Mountain as an adventure mode divided into 5 different sections, and these cards are from section number 2. So we're going to be going into Blackrock with Dragon Egg to start with. So whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/1 whelp. Any class can drop that, of course, and with a mere 2 health it could potentially take 2 damage. So kind of like an Acolyte of Pain. The more damage that an Acolyte of Pain takes with its 3 health pool on individual occasions, the more times it triggers the draw a card mechanic. Ditto for Dragon Egg. So how could you use this? Well, it will give you 2/1 whelps in the early game. A 2/1 whelp may well die, but if you can get them out en masse, then it could be very handy indeed. So people will immediately think of, how can I rush with Dragon Egg? In the absence of seeing all of the Blackrock Mountain cards, we don't know whether there's anything that could buff this or not. With current cards, you would think of ways that you could increase the health pool of Dragon Egg. Priests could power word shield it. And you'd also think of things that could trigger damaging your own minions. So if I was a warrior, I play warrior quite a bit, I could whirlwind this to trigger it in a similar way to Armor Smith and Acolyte of Pain. How can I get bigger health in my Dragon Eggs to summon more whelps? How can I damage my own minions to summon those whelps more quickly? They're the two things with this card that you'd have to think about. However, it doesn't look too bad. I can see a lot of rushy Zooey decks, anything that's face or aggro in the early game, immediately trying to work out how can I summon as many dragons as quickly as possible. Could also see use as a late game play. So for example, you've managed to control your opponent into the ground, they've run out of removal. Can you throw down a couple of Dragon Eggs that are buffed? Can you try and perhaps Zerg with whelps in the in-game? So Dragon Eggs, of course, very, very famous from the Blackrock instances in World of Warcraft with Leroy Jenkins. You stand on them, and also Onyxia. If you stand on Dragon Eggs, you get whelps. Kind of like the Onyxia card, kind of like Leroy summoning 2 whelps as well. So a nice little card that. As I said, early and quick impressions, as we've not seen the rest of the Blackrock cards yet, but plenty of cards in Hearthstone can buff the health of that. There are plenty of cards in Hearthstone that can damage it. Really, it could have a few different uses. You can flood the table with whelps if you have Dragon Eggs with higher health that you can damage on multiple occasions. So I would say, how can you buff the health? How can you damage it? There's Dragon Egg. We'll come back and do a full analysis of all these cards, by the way, when they've all been announced and when the Adventure Mode is out, to have a look at the new meta. Let's jump into our next card, and we're going to take a look at Dragonkin Sorcerer. It was the second one that was announced today. 4 mana with 3 attack and 5 health is a pretty solid minion in itself. You can throw it down, it'll make some trades, all that kind of stuff. Its base stats are pretty good. We'll then take a more in-depth look. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, gain 1/1. Interesting, it is a sorcerer, it is a dragon, and of course we've seen other cards that benefit from dragonness that have already been announced. So the real question will be, what could you throw on top of that that will buff it in multiple different fashions? And I think the immediate answer that springs to mind from Goblins vs Gnomes is of course spare parts. Spare parts being mage, well, not mage, mech, 1 mana spells that can buff and buff and buff. So anything I throw on the Dragonkin Sorcerer will buff it. So if I have multiple spare parts, I can buff that up to something pretty nasty indeed. It could synergize well in mech decks. Its health is pretty solid for a 4-drop. It could be tanked up. A lot of interesting things that could be dropped in there, for example. So those are our 2 cards to start with. It will be interesting to see how you could actually tank this up or something similar. There are plenty of different ways, of course. Looking at its health at the time it drops in the game, maybe a Defender of Argus, maybe a Sunfury Protector. It could be a card that's teched into various mech rushing decks at the moment. Or indeed perhaps Priest could benefit as well. Priest has things like Power Word Shield and other nice little buffs that drop in. And do remember, of course, that this is a dragon, and if we take a look at Dragon Egg is not a dragon yet, because it's an egg, which does make sense. But for Dragonkin Sorcerer, because it's a dragon, the Dragonkin is kind of a family of all things dragonish in World of Warcraft and the Warcraft universe. So that will benefit from things like the Blackwing Technician. If you're holding a dragon, when you play the Blackwing Technician, you gain 1/1. So you can see synergies starting to appear between the dragon cards. If I play a Blackrock Technician, which is 3 mana. I have a Dragonkin Sorcerer in my hand for my 4-drop. Then I've got my mana curve starting to come together when it comes to dragon-ish cards. So there we go, that is our quick Hearthstone news update. There are the 2 new cards that were announced this week. There's going to be new cards announced. All of the cards are going to be announced apparently before the expansion releases, and the expansion release date for Blackrock Mountain at the moment is sometime in April. So thanks very much for tuning in. If you'd like to see more news videos, hit the link in the top left. You can see more Hearthstone 2-minute news updates, more Blackrock Mountain spoilers, card previews in a basic kind of way from our perspective, and more. And if you'd like to subscribe, get more videos, we try and put streams out 5 nights a week on twitch.tv/whelpscast. You can also see a complete archive of YouTube videos, over 180 Hearthstone half hours, news updates and more. Hit subscribe, go and have a look, youtube.com/whelpscast, and we'll always tweet at whelpscast on Twitter when we're going to go live streaming. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hopefully see you soon. If you like this or saw it on YouTube, do like, subscribe or comment, let us know what we can do better. Share it around, that'd be great. Take it easy.